But switching gears, I want to talk about the super fight, September 13th, Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford. You face Canelo. Abel, you have the game plan how to beat Canelo Alvarez. I feel that Triple G beat him, both fights. But who am I to say? What are your thoughts on the fight, and what are some of the tricks that Canelo does that Crawford needs to be aware of?
Well, in my opinion, in order to beat Canelo, you're gonna have to be willing to take a shot, and to press him, and make sure that you keep him busy and keep him backing up. If you can't muscle him, if you can't be more effective than he is with his punches, and you push him back, then you're not gonna beat him. You leave him on the outside, he's gonna pick you apart. He's gonna pound your arms. He's so damn strong, just like Gennady was. Guys like Bivol that were able to press him and be stronger than him and just keep activity on him. Those are the kind of guys that are going to beat him. Terrence, I don't care if he goes up to 200 pounds. It doesn't have that in time. Doesn't have that. If he would have done this, if he'd have fought 3 or 4 guys already at that weight and built up his work ethic and his strength by competing and by beating guys at that weight, then I could see it. But he's ballooned up to whatever it is that he is, which is, in my opinion, the worst thing he could have done. But then again, who am I to question a Hall of Famer like that, right? But if it would have been me, I would have kept him at 170 pounds. The weight that he's going to fight at that way, he wouldn't have to lose nothing. He'd be as strong as he could be at that weight, instead of, from what I understand, he's in the 90s. If he is, maybe that's just hype. I don't know. But if he is in the 90s, he's going to have to drop down to the high 60s. That doesn't make any sense to me. But he's a Hall of Famer, man. He's a great fighter. I just don't think that he's big enough. I don't think that he's strong enough to be able to muscle a Canelo. My opinion, the first 3 or 4 rounds, Terrence will have an advantage because of his speed, hand speed. But once Canelo assimilates and gets used to the combinations coming at him, I think that it's a sparring session again for Canelo, as he's had in the past with the last 4, 5, 6 fights that he's had. After the middle of the fight, it's a sparring session. He's just having fun, throwing punches and beating on people. I think that's what happens in this fight. I see Canelo going away towards the end with a decision.
Well, most likely the judges, it'll be hard to get a decision from Canelo Alvarez. So what adjustments would Crawford have to make during the fight in order to be successful?
I think Terrence needs to make sure that he presses as much as he can. Of course, that he's as active as he can. It's a 12-round fight. It's not a 3 or 4 round fight. He's going to have to be P's and Q's for 12 rounds. And to be able to do it for 12 rounds, nobody's been able to do it except for Floyd when this young man was very, very young. We were able to do it in a couple fights, but he's a different guy to fight, especially when he starts pounding. I know you got Terrence is going to be getting hit by a truck. That's a big, strong guy that anywhere he hits you, he's going to damage you, and not only zap you in strength, but damage your physique. I think it's a difficult fight. I hope it's a good fight. The public, I think, is looking towards a great fight. I hope it's a good fight for the public, but I see Canelo winning.
Absolutely. Who has the higher boxing IQ? Who's more intelligent in the ring?
I think they're both the same, man. I think Canelo does things in the ring that, listen, he's outsmarted everybody in that he's fought except for Floyd when he was a baby. Terrence didn't look too good against Madrimov, did he? And Madrimov was able to hit him with some shots, and so they're both very smart. I just think that the difference is the size.
Okay, now, if Crawford, he talked about being on Mount Rushmore. He's going to be on the Mount Rushmore of boxing if he's successful against Canelo Alvarez. If he does it, Abel, let's say he does beat him in a decision, Canelo Alvarez. Where do we place him on the all-time great list?
I would say he'd be one of the. I'd say in the top 10 for sure, maybe even the top 5, but top 10 for sure. But he's going to have to beat Canelo and not get robbed, and Canelo get robbed. Okay, it can't be a gift. He's going to have to beat him down and beat him so that there's no question at the end. If there is, then I think we all get cheated, and he gets cheated.
Absolutely. And if he was spectacularly able to knock out Canelo Alvarez, which is highly unlikely, but anything can happen. It could be the punch that you don't see coming, and he knocks out Canelo Alvarez. He has to go. He's higher than top 5, right?
There's no way in this earth that should even be contemplated. Gennady Golovkin, who's probably one of the hardest hitters of his era, couldn't hurt him. Couldn't hurt him. Bivol, who is a pretty good puncher himself at a heavier weight, couldn't hurt him. Didn't Gamboa hurt Terrence?
Yes, and the Mean Machine dropped
Yes.
them, but they didn't call
Okay,
it a
so
knockdown.
okay, so I mean, you're talking about a guy that's got a neck the size of Terrence's thighs, who has been hit by the best and the biggest, and has never even been rocked at that level. Okay, yes, he got hit with a left hook by Cotto, went against the ropes, but didn't go down. It was more off balance kind of shot. So for me, is something that I wouldn't even contemplate. I wouldn't even talk about it. And somebody wanted to bet that, I would most definitely bet that.
Okay, but Abel, there was a guy with a large neck named Mike Tyson that was a 42-1. He was hyped. He was the favorite to win the fight, and he was knocked out by Buster Douglas. I understand they were both the same weight class. Buster was obviously taller than Tyson, but it can happen. And you don't think
No,
it's happening? I
absolutely.
don't think
No,
it can happen. But anything can happen. Somebody can get old overnight, right?
no, absolutely. No, it can happen, but they both have to be in the same weight division, I think.
Yeah.
Douglas was hitting big guys. Tyson was hitting big guys. Terrence is not hitting big guys. Terrence hasn't been hit by big guys, big strong guys like that. So, like I said, it's for me, it's not even a subject worth contemplating, even thinking about, because it's so far fetched that I think it's ridiculous to even think about it. For me, anyway.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I just wanted to get your opinion, but
Yeah.
I can't wait for the fight September 13th. Will you be in Las Vegas?
Absolutely. I'll have two kids on the card, actually. I have a young man fighting on Wednesday on one of the cards. The other cards that there's like 3 or 4 shows before the big show, I believe.
Yeah.
And then I have one making his pro debut on the prelim card, which is 4 or 5 fights on the prelims. And then on the undercard, I have, I think, the first fight on TV, a young man named Alakel, who just fought in Saudi Arabia. He's 5-0.
Oh, that'll be great. I can't wait to check them out. I'll link up with you in Vegas, and we'll check out your fighters and everything. But Abel
Most definitely.
Sanchez, the legendary Abel Sanchez, thank you so much
Thank you
for
very
your
much.
time. It's always a pleasure speaking to you. I'll talk to you soon. It's Johnny Boy at FightHype.
Thank you, Johnny. We'll talk soon.
Okay.